deficit hawks were when Team Biden was blowing out the deficit. So last year was 6.7% of GDP, which was the highest it had been when we weren't in a recession, weren't at war. And as your previous guest said, we don't have a tax collection problem. We have a spending problem, and we are trying to get that under control. We are also trying to accelerate growth because changing the growth trajectory upward solves a lot of the deficit problems.
We have a strong economy. We can weather some of this stuff. And there have been all these dire predictions from the day he stepped into office. The job market's going to tank. Prices are going to skyrocket. None of that has happened. The job market has held steady.
But
gas prices have gone down.
But Lance, that's because the tariffs have been postponed and paused.
I'm saying
every single
experts
time.
The experts
not
all
the
along
China tariffs
are correct.
No, they have. They absolutely have. The high tariff. When he announced 145% tariffs, that did not go into place.
China tariffs have been higher.
I know, but
collected $22 million.
But Brad, 145% tariffs did not happen.
No, not all of the China tariffs he announced have been in place, but some of them have been.
Some of them have. The existing ones have gone into place, steel and aluminum and all those things. But the 145% tariffs that would effectively end trade, those did not go anywhere.
And there are some reasons why the prices haven't gone up, because people have stockpiled things, but that won't last forever. So we'll wait and see.
All right. TBD, as usual.
The smugness in that intro you saw from, I forgot her name, Ashley something, and Abby. TBD. We'll see. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, how can someone be so confident about their predictions when their predictions constantly miss the target? And I'll give you an example, right? This is Joe Rogan's podcast news, right? Who was correct and right? Conspiracy theorists. Hunter Biden laptop story, mRNA, vax harm, pandemic, lockdown, yada, 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 yada. Democrats told you, anytime a Democrat said, that's a conspiracy theory, all you gotta do is, okay, we'll see. I'll play the same game. We'll see. Oh, price is gonna go up eventually. We'll see. Because we've been waiting how long? We're halfway through the year already. And the stuff they've been screaming about, they've been causing all this kind of panic about, still has not happened. Why? Bias. That's it. There's already data showing that based on your politics, it'll determine whether you have a positive view or a negative view on Trump's economy. So on CNN, Abby Phillips and the other black woman, I always forget her name, Ashley something. These two are Democrats. We know it already. Of course they're going to have a negative view of the economy. Of course they're going to think something bad is going to happen. And it's just a wait and see moment. And the reason I'm making this video is because Trump recently again went at Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell still refused to cut rates, even though inflation is still trending downwards. According to True Inflation, the U.S. inflation index dropped to 1.66%. The experts are fuming. Cut interest rates, right? This is based on True Inflation. July 15th is when we're going to get the government's official report on inflation, which is what Jerome Powell was using to make these determinations about the economy. And this is the crucial problem with CNN, that I think they've been trying to drum up fear concerns, right? So that way they can ride on public sentiment and use that as a talking point. But I even think that is going away. Let's check out this clip and then we'll go back to the video.
Our market's around 4.24% the last I checked. We've recovered, $10 trillion, I believe, in the past several weeks, according to the street. It's factoring this in. And I think the expectation is a baseline 5-10% reciprocal tariff. That's the expectation. I think some of these higher numbers, if you talk to most analysts, they would probably say we're looking at this as more of a negotiating strategy or tactic. I was just in London a week ago doing business, talked to a lot of business people. They're looking at this and they're thinking, yeah, we don't really think that this is going to seriously impact our willingness to invest in the United States. And I think many others, investors around the globe, will probably see it the same way, which is why the market has been persistently strong.
Because Jerome Powell cut rates right before the election by 50 points. Inflation today under President Trump's leadership is lower than it was then, a 4-year low, and he now refuses to cut rates. Here is my ask to Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. If you are actually committed to economic facts and reality, open up your July 30th FOMC Fed meeting to the public. Don't have a closed-door meeting like you always do. Let all the people see exactly what your deliberations are like. If it is actually the case that they are not unduly influenced by your views of President Trump, then open up your meeting so the entire American public can have insight into your decision-making.
Here's why I think Fed Chair Jerome Powell doesn't want to cut rates, because of his ego, right? I read this book, The Ego is the Enemy. And right now, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's ego is his own enemy, because before Trump decided to do Liberation Day tariffs, Jerome Powell was trying to warn Donald Trump that if he does this, it would increase costs and inflation and hurt the economy. Right? This is Jerome Powell, right? Jerome Powell never spoke about the political approach or agenda of Joe Biden. Joe Biden had the highest inflation rate in 40 years, but he was still trying to cut rates for Joe Biden. But all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes in office. Donald Trump has, 4 months of consistently either hitting the inflation target or being well under the inflation target, and Jerome Powell doesn't want to cut rates because it's too soon. When Biden had 2 quarters of consistently declining in inflation, and Biden was averaging 6% a month with inflation. He had a 9.8 inflation. It was ridiculous with Joe Biden, but Jerome Powell was still trying to find ways to work with Joe Biden. But it seemed like Jerome Powell isn't willing to work with Donald Trump, and this is the concern. This is many people are saying, and I think I agree with that. I want an open door meeting. I want the media in there. I want to hear how exactly you come to these conclusions of not cutting rates, because I believe liberal bias is at play with Jerome Powell. I know damn well Jerome Powell didn't vote for Donald Trump. I know that for a fact. He didn't vote for Donald Trump. This is all either a political bias game, or he's trying to protect his own ego because he was proven wrong 4 times in a row, maybe 5 if you count February. And this is why I don't understand the smugness or this confidence that Democratic analysts, liberal pundits are doing. Like, I just show you the intro with Abby Phillips and her sidekick. They're just believing that inflation is going to increase. And they don't give you any justification. They don't give you any reason why. They don't point to any pattern, nothing. They just believe in their hearts that inflation is going to go up. Which it does go up, but they think it's going to go up faster than expected to drum up this fear. We'll see. We've been seeing for 4 months now, 5 months now. We halfway through the year. We've been waiting to see, and it still hasn't happened yet. Cut the rates. But it's this game that I think the media is playing to drum up concerns and fear about the market.
Actually announced that, the Independence Day stuff, and in the weeks after, the markets just were in nosedive mode. They were up and down, up and down, up and down, lots of down. We've seen the markets not react as heavily or as dramatically in the past few weeks, other than what Henrietta was saying about the copper markets. Can you explain that, Justin? Why am I looking at the stock market right now, the Dow in the green?
Yeah, so what happened on April 2, back on Liberation Day, is Trump announced a set of tariffs as the policy. And they were so shocking that people had baked in that he was Mr. Tariff, that he was tariff man, and it was worse than that. And that's why markets were terrified. What subsequently happened was he backed down on everything. And then we got this new word. People love this word, taco, the claim that Trump always chickens out. And when you talk to people on Wall Street about why they're so calm,
So this is another tactic they're trying to use when they're wrong about something. Because I forgot who said it. I think it was a CEO from some bank. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, or someone can tell me the name of this individual. But I remember it's like a big bank. I forgot, like a Bank of America type. They're saying Trump was using tariffs as a negotiation tool. This is not his actual policy. These banks been know about this stuff, but who was panicking? Who was drumming up fears on the public sphere? The media. You guys are portraying this. Who's telling? Oh, you gotta sell. You gotta get out of the market now. These news anchors on these business news shows, they were saying that. And what Trump had to say, Trump said, "Hey, don't panic." Trump had to reaffirm the American people and everyone, "Hey, don't panic. It's a great time to buy." Trump was saying that. And what happened to the stock market when he released, "Hey, I'm pausing these tariffs because these people are willing to negotiate with me"? It's like they like to forget that pause that talk of backing down or Trump chickening out, it came with a condition. Hey, I want to do this if you don't do this. Hey guys, I paused all the tariffs because they're willing to talk to me now. China is still paying more tariffs they did before Liberation Day. They paying more tariffs after Liberation Day. But they're saying, oh, Trump's backing down. No, Trump didn't go to his, hey, look, this is doomsday. I'm going to wreck your economy if you don't come talk to me. If we don't hash out a deal. Germany just now, Trump demanded them to buy more from American exports, and they did. Look at the tariffs. Look at them out. The tariff revenue is going up. So what the hell are they talking about? It's because I think the reason why the investors are really not so concerned with the tariffs is because they don't believe the media's exaggeration of the tariffs anymore. Because from day one, when Trump was talking about this tariff stuff, you had bank CEOs saying, oh, Trump's probably using this as a negotiation tactic. Everybody with common sense knew that Trump was using this as a negotiation tactic to get people to a deal, to a trade deal that will help and benefit the American people. That was the ethos. And I talked about this a long time on my channel. I think if I go back far enough, I can find the video where I was saying this thing. I'm like, yo, if you have a long-term perspective, you're looking at this from a long-term perspective, Trump is trying to get us a greater and better circumstance. That was the whole goal. If you understand Trump's goal, all the tariff stuff makes sense. If you don't understand Trump's goal, if you have nefarious reasons, you just have a negative bias against Trump, you just see this as, oh, he's chickening out. Oh, but why was he chickening out? Can you tell us? Oh, he was fearful for the markets going down. Or did the country actually did what he asked them to do, and that's why he took it down? And this is the context you miss when you just listen to MSNBC and only liberal news. They don't want to tell you that part because it might make Trump look reasonable, and they can't have that.
They seem to be remarkably of the view that they're certain that Trump is in fact a taco, that he will chicken out again. I think they're overstating it. And I would be building in a very, very real risk that he's serious about it. And if that's true, then what's going to happen over the next few weeks through to August 1st is they're slowly going to wake up that these tariffs are coming. And if that's the case, then financial markets are going to react. But that's going to be much more of a slow motion train wreck than the sort of...
He's talking like he can see the future. I don't believe nothing he just said. Oh, as we get closer to August 1st, these people are going to see he's serious and the market's going to tank. No. I know exactly what y'all going to do. Y'all going to fearmonger the hell as they get closer to August 1st to try to affect public sentiment. Don't be a panicking. That's what Trump tell you. Hey, look, everyone, let's just be a long-term investor right now. Let's stop being day traders for a month and watch this stuff go away. Y'all been wrong about everything under the sun. Oh, price is going to come in, increase. Price is going to do this, price. And you expect people to still listen to you guys? This is why MSNBC's ratings are in the toilet. Why CNN's ratings are in the toilet. Because you don't give any information that the American people can practically act upon. Like imagine April, May, I forget when it was. I remember I made a video talking about how I made a mistake and I put money in the wrong investment account and I had to wait for that to go back to the right investment account. And I felt like I missed my chance when Trump was saying, it was before Trump said, buy now, don't panic. Because I saw this as a good buying opportunity. Because I'm a Warren Buffett type of investor. I buy when the markets are fearful and I sell when the markets are happy or whatever he said. Right? Because you do the opposite of what the crowd is doing. And the simplest way I can put the stock market is it's people putting their sentiment where their mouth is, their money where their mouth is about the sentiment of the economy. If you think the economy is in a good spot, you buy. If you think economy is in a bad spot or you think you won't get more money for what you have invested, you'll sell. Same thing. It's capitalism. That's the same thing. It's run by people's will. Hey, if this negative sentiment and you see the data and you're saying there's no reason for the negative sentiment, you buy. It's a simple strategy I just gave. All this data that these people are referencing, these are survey data. This is not hard data. Hard data is saying, yo, inflation's trending downwards. Hey, interest rates are trending downwards for the 5th straight time in a row. Hey, that's a good sign. Okay, let me buy some stocks before everyone realizes what's going on. That's essentially what investing is. But, I digress. I think I ranted on long enough, but I don't understand why. Let me know in the comment section, why do you believe that these liberal pundits or these people in the news media still believe that people take their predictions seriously? At this point, MSNBC, with all the comments they just talk about, the taco thing, those things come across to me as conspiracy theories because that pattern has not shown out yet. Oh, Trump paused all the tariffs. Really? China's paying more tariffs than they did before Liberation Day. How can you explain that? I thought you said he paused all the tariffs. Oh, well, it's not 145%. Yeah, but we already know that was a negotiation tactic, and you fear-monger it like it was true, like you're about to do right now about the August 1st deadline. Come on. And y'all freaking out about de-dollarization when if you want to compete in the exporting space, right? You want people to buy more exports from the United States, the dollar has to kind of go down to make it cheap and affordable for other countries to export from you. They don't tell you that. They want to give you one side of the story that fits a narrative that allows them to be negative towards Trump. And it seems like that's the game the Democrats and liberal journalists, which is the majority in liberal news or news journalists in general, are trying to play. And I hope Americans see through it. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.